My name is Ashley Revel, and I sold everything I owned and put it on one spin of the roulette wheel in Las Vegas. The story really began for me when I was 32 years old. A lot of my friends had started to get hitched. I was young, free and single. I was sort of feeling a bit lost, a bit of a loose end, really. For me, I've always looked upon gambling as a very easy way of making money. And then I was with a friend of mine. We used to go to casinos together. We'd win at poker and we'd play blackjack and start to lose. It was a bit of a spiral, really, and it wasn't good. Because we both love gambling, we just had this crazy thought that wouldn't it be amazing just to stop frittering away our money.
Sell everything and bet it all.
And he was like, that's brilliant. I said, well, let's do it. He was like, yeah, let's do it, you know, over a beer. But things changed. He pulled out, but I decided to do the bet. I just wanted to feel the buzz of what it felt like to gamble everything. I wanted to do one massive, huge bet and never bet again. So with this bet, I would either double everything that I owned or I would end up with absolutely nothing. And I was ready to risk it all. So once you've decided to bet everything, you've then got to decide what game to do it on. I picked roulette because it gives you the closest odds to 50-50. The bet had to be pure, and it was going to be a simple decision of either red or black. One would be riches, fame and glory, and the other would be a disaster. I've always wanted to go to Las Vegas, seeing pictures of it, seeing videos of it. Where else in the world, other than Vegas, is the place to do the bet? Being Vegas, I thought that would be pretty easy and they'd all be crying out for it. But then it all went a bit wrong. It was surprisingly difficult. A lot of casinos didn't want to touch it. They didn't want to see someone risk everything and potentially lose, because that would have been terrible publicity. But eventually we did find one. It was the Hard Rock Casino. And I thought, that's cool, that's quite a funky place. It was game on. One of my friends was working for a production company, and he was like, Ash, that's a brilliant idea for a TV program. Sky TV got involved, so it started to escalate, where they said, right, we want to commission the production company to make a 3-part program. Program 1, I sell everything. Program 2, live from Las Vegas. Program 3, what happened next? I thought, I can't really back out now. Not that I would have, because I was genuinely going to do the bet anyway, but suddenly it's become a TV program. That was the real turning point for me, realizing that was it. A few weeks before I was doing this bet, I met this beautiful woman, Tamara, in this pub in London. I really liked Tamara. Straight away, instantly, I thought, I really fancy her. She's hot. And she said, well, so what do you do? I said, I'm going to Vegas in a few weeks to
bet everything I own on one spin of a roulette wheel.
She must have thought, you know, that she's heard some corny chat-up lines in her time, and that was the worst one she's ever heard.
I didn't believe it. I was like, well, you know, porcupines, as we say in England. A very sort of nonsense story. I thought it was rather odd. I wasn't really sort of interested, but then Ashley asked me if I wanted to be part of the auction of selling all his belongings. Then it became really real for me. I was like, okay, actually, he is selling, you know, his clothes, his jewelry, his car, everything that he had.
Obviously, you've got the big items, like the car, the BMW, that sold for $3,000. I had a Rolex watch that sold for $2,000, and whoever bought that at an auction got an absolute steal, because that was a beautiful watch. I also sold my name. It was with a company called Blue Square. They gave me £10,000 to change my name to Ashley Blue Square Revel. There was a news story in the UK, so they got a bit of publicity from it. I'm sure they got more than their £10,000 worth. Even though I sold my name, I didn't technically change it, ever. But they gave me money, and at this point, all that I'm interested in is maximising what the bet can be. Because obviously, the more money I can bet, the more money I can potentially win. I sold absolutely everything. I owned nothing. I had one outfit of clothes that I was wearing. I hired a tuxedo, which was going to be for doing the bet. And then I had my life savings as well. And that was about $30,000. So the total amount that I managed to raise was $136,000. It was absolutely everything I owned. You know, I was in a frenzy that I just wanted to do this bet. It was all-consuming. It's all I'd been thinking about for months and months. I'd told everyone the next step really was to fly out to Vegas to do it.
I wasn't part of the entourage. I stayed back, but I was nervous. Deep down, I was nervous for him.
When the plane was coming into land and you see all the casinos all lit up, it was almost like I'd died and gone to heaven. Up until that point, things had gone perfectly as far as planning's concerned. When it came to actually filming the bets, the day before, and cameras had been set up, suddenly the Hard Rock Cafe said, we're not doing it anymore, we're pulling out.
What?
They didn't trust the bet. You know, why is he doing it? Is it a scam? At the time, in the news, there was a group, they were European, and they were going around scamming roulette tables. So they were using some electronic device. I think they had it in their shoes. When the ball went past a certain point, they would click their left toe. And when the ball went past a certain number, they'd click their right toe. And eventually it would give an indication of a segment it would land in. It wouldn't be specific to a number, but they'd then bet on that. Perhaps think that they thought that I was doing that, but I had no reason to cheat, and certainly I didn't have the knowledge to do it, and I didn't want to cheat. So when the Hard Rock Casino pulled out, I was absolutely devastated. I was thinking, it was a silly, drunken idea I had with my friend, and it escalated, blew out of all proportion.
Okay, right, sure.
Is this the start of things going wrong? Because I was just desperate to put the bet on. This was the culmination of months and months of thinking about it, and it wasn't going to happen. It was really all steam ahead to find any casino that would accept it. And the production company started to phone around, and then the Plaza, which is downtown, they said, oh, we'll do it. It was such a huge relief when the Plaza came through. It was like, my goodness, this is incredible. So I went to meet up with them. It was a guy wearing a big Stetson, and he had a big emerald ring on his finger, and he goes, hey, I didn't get where I am today without gambling, actually. So that's a terrible American accent. I said, right, brilliant. We'll do it tomorrow. So that was it. So it was back on. Because it was being filmed, there was obviously TV cameras that were filming. At that point, I went to the casino cage and withdrew the money in chips.
This is it. This is my life. Doesn't look a lot when it's in chips, does it? That's the secret, I think.
I had everything I owned in my hands, and they were casino chips. The only decision I had to make was to pick red or black.
I was thinking black, but to be honest, I'm going to decide when I'm at the table.
So as I was walking along, I was hoping for some divine inspiration, and I wasn't getting that. So but I got to the table, and there was a lot of cheering and stuff because my friends and family had been flown out by the production company. My mum and dad were there. It was a huge, huge decision. I looked round and was like, well, you know, red or black, what am I going to do? I didn't know. One would be the right answer. I just had to pick that. I had nothing else to think about. It was the biggest decision of my life. It was going to be red.
I actually went to see my parents in Holland. I knew that I wanted to watch it live somewhere. We went into Amsterdam and we just basically went to every single pub that might have Sky. And there was a lot of pubs that say, no, 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 we don't show that. And then there was one that said, oh, yes, no, I can get Sky. And so he set it up at a big screen for us, so we actually watched it live.
And the croupier's giving me a little rundown. I had to say red or black within 2 spins of the roulette wheel. So when they throw the white ball round, it does a few circuits. But I had to make my decision within 2 of those circuits, or else it would be a no bet. He goes, you ready? And I was like, yeah, I'm ready. And for some reason, I asked to kiss the ball.
The people in the pub had no idea that I was dating Ashley. He kisses the ball, you know, we're all like holding our breath.
The croupier span the ball, and I immediately just said red and pushed all my chips on red. Once I'd pushed the chips in the middle, everything went silent. So there was loads of cheering and noise beforehand, but it was like being in a vacuum of silence. At that moment in time, I realized that I had nothing. It's almost like when you're a baby. You come out with nothing, you're naked, and I was, apart from a hired tuxedo I was wearing. The reality of it was, if it goes on black, I'd be without anything in Las Vegas, pretty much destitute. I could lose everything.